Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm showing you every single Bedrock Edition exclusive game rule in Minecraft. So in total there are 9 different game rules in Minecraft Bedrock Edition that are not available in Minecraft Java Edition. And we'll go through all 9 of these game rules in this video, and I'll explain exactly what all of them do. And so if you like Minecraft videos like this one, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft videos like this one in the future. And so the first of these is game rule dofiretick. By default, this game rule is set to true, and it determines whether fire should be able to spread in your world, and also whether it should be able to naturally extinguish as well. So when this game rule is set to true by default, then a fire can spread and it can burn your blocks, but it can also extinguish like we saw over there. As you can see, it's spreading here. But now if we set the game rule dofiretick to false, then that no longer happens. The fire no longer moves further, but it also no longer extinguishes. Then next, the second game rule only in Bedrock Edition is game rule functioncommandlimit. And this game rule determines the maximum number of commands can be executed by the /function command at once. So by default, this value is set to 10,000. And you can use the function command to run commands from a function file. So you can do /function, then put in a file path for where that function file is, and it will run all the commands that are in that file. So by default, it will be able to execute 10,000 commands from a single function file. But you can decrease this by changing this game rule. So you cannot increase it beyond 10,000. That is the maximum value, but you can set, for example, 1. And then a function file can only have 1 command, and it will only execute a single command instead of multiple. Then the third game rule is game rule recipesunlock. This game rule determines whether a player needs to actually collect items to unlock recipes. So by default, recipes unlock is set to true. So if you look into our crafting table, we have our recipe book, and there are some items in here, but you can see that that's definitely not all the items in the game. But if we set this game rule to false, like this, you will see that now we open our crafting table, we now have access to all of the different recipes in the game. We can see all of them now, and we don't have to first collect the items before we are actually able to see the recipes in the recipe book. Next up, we have game rule respawnblocksexplode. By default, it is set to true, as you can see right there, and it means that beds will explode in the nether and the end, and respawn anchors will explode in the overworld and the end. So that means that if we set this to false and then try to use a respawn anchor here in the overworld, it does not explode. So at the default value where it's set to true, if you use a respawn anchor in the overworld, it of course does explode. Next up, we have an interesting game rule. It's showbordereffect. So that's game rule showbordereffect. By default, it is set to true, as you can see right there. And what it does is that if we give ourselves a border block like this and place these down, there we go, you will see all of these particles appear above and below the border block, and they can extend quite high into the sky. But if we set this game rule to false, like this, you will see that those particles disappear, and now it's just the basic block, and there are no particles coming off of the border block anymore by setting game rule showbordereffect to false. Then next we have 2 commands that affect the heads-up display of the player. So currently you can see that we have our position in the top left of our screen, but we can use /gamerule showcoordinates to change that. So by default it is set to true, and you always see your coordinates. But what we can do is set this to false, and that hides those coordinates in the top left of our screen. So you can set it to true again, and then those coordinates appear again. And then similarly, we also have the game rule showdaysplayed, like this. By default, this one is set to false. We can set it to true like this, and you also see the number of days you've played in your world. So that can be interesting for some people to look at, of course. Then next we have the game rule showrecipemessages. By default, it is set to true, as this game rule determines if you want to see the messages in the top right of your screen of recipe unlocks. So if I pick up some items here, you can see that we have all of these new recipe unlocked toasts in the top right of our screen. But if we set this game rule showrecipemessages to false, and then we were to pick up any more items, like for example a gold ingot, then we do not see the message in the top left, but we still get the recipes with gold ingots added to our recipe book. And then there is one final game rule that is exclusive to Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and that is the showtags game rule. So gamerules showtags by default is set to true. There we go. And this means that if you have an item that has a can place on or a can destroy tag, you will be able to see it when you hover over the item. For example, here we have a diamond pickaxe and it says it can break andesite, polished diorite stone, diorite granite, polished andesite, and polished granite. So that now if we set the show tags game rule to false, like this, and then hover over the item again, you can see we no longer are able to see those tags. But if I go into adventure mode and use this pickaxe, I cannot mine any of the sand over here, but I can still mine that stone. So even though the tags are not visual anymore, they will still work. And so there we go. Those are all the 9 Bedrock exclusive game rules in Minecraft. If you have any questions about this video, then please leave them in the comments down below. But anyway, there we go. Hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you did, then please subscribe.